Okay, I guess we'll get started. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the gem5 workshop. And welcome to Japan. So first I need to read a couple of things here. So we just have a few important reminders to help everybody have a comfortable and safe experience. As per fire regulations, please remain seated during the event. Standing in the aisles or the back is not permitted. Please note food and drinks are not allowed inside the auditorium, and we kindly request that you take all personal trash with you when you depart. For lunch today, lunch boxes can be picked up at the Okuma Garden House, which is, you go out and all the way around, and then it's over here, I think. We can eat our lunches there. So the plan is to have a community luncheon where we can discuss things. And so we have, I think, the second floor of that room or that building available for us to have lunch. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so welcome everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I am Jason Low-Power. I am the chair of gem5's Project Management Committee, which means that I am like the person who tries to keep the community together and try to move the community in a direction. I think this is the 5th gem5 workshop. Matt, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the 5th time we've done it.
I thought it was the 6th, but okay.
I think we've done it pretty much every other year except for 17. 17 or 19 we missed. Since 15.
I think it's 6th, but
okay.
It doesn't.
5th or 6th gem5 workshop. So welcome, thank you all for being here. I'm really excited. So FYI, this is being live streamed and recorded, assuming that the Wi-Fi continues to work. I think for those of you online, I hope you can hear us. I have muted my computer so we cannot hear you, but hopefully you'll be able to catch everything that we're doing here. Okay, so the workshop today, I'm going to give a brief talk about the state of gem5 currently, and then we're going to switch into our contributed talks, take a brief break at about 10 o'clock, do some more talks between then and lunch, then have the lunch and community discussion, not here, but in the garden house, and then go back to contributed talks until about 2:30 or so. This gives us a little bit of wiggle room. And so if we need to move things around, we have like 20 minutes to play with. Okay, so community discussion. If you have ideas for things you want to discuss, if you have things that you're working on to make gem5 better, or you have questions for developers or anything like that, any ideas on discussions, please let me know. So you can scan this QR code or go to this link and suggest something. I'll pull these things down. I think on the link I said you could put a slide. If we're going to be in the garden house, I don't think I'll be able to present slides, but we'll figure something out. Please suggest things because I don't have anything on the agenda. I have some ideas, but this is really about the community, not about me. Flip that up for another second. Okay, great. Okay, so with that, I'll dive straight into the state of gem5. So as I said, I'm Jason Low-Power. I'm the gem5 Project Management Committee Chair. I now work at Google, and I am also a professor at UC Davis. So this talk is with my gem5 hat on, not with my employer. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is a little bit about why we're here, although I think we all know why we're here. A little bit about what's happened in gem5 in the past 2 years since our last workshop, and a little bit about where we're going, at least from my side. And I'd love to hear where we're going from your side at the community luncheon. So first of all, I want to say that as of now, gem5 is 25 years old. I am just declaring this. This is now true. So I was talking to Milo Martin recently, who was one of the students that started GEMS, and he thinks that it started around 1999. And for M5, you can go back in the Git history and actually find M5's first commit, and I think that was around 2001. So if we average these together, we get 25 years old. Also, if you didn't see, the other announcement I can make today is that gem5 25.0 has been released. And so there's a new stable release of gem5 with lots of cool new features. Okay, so what makes gem5 special? I think most of you know this, but I like to say it anyway. So for a long time, computer simulation was really focused on the ISA and microarchitecture. And a lot of our simulators today are still really focused just on these two layers of the stack. But computer systems research, we really want to do things across all layers of the stack. And with the demise of Moore's law and Denard scaling, it's really becoming imperative that we do these cross-stack optimizations in order to get more efficiency. And what makes gem5 special is that gem5 can do all of these layers, unlike many other simulators. So I've stolen this slide from Hennessy and Patterson many years ago and continued to use it. And so where does gem5 fit in this ecosystem of this kind of idea of agile hardware methodology? It's the thing that's here at the lowest level with the fastest iteration loop of doing C++ high-level simulation to explore ideas. So in my view, gem5's goals are that anyone, including non-computer architects, can download and use gem5 for their research. And then they can use it for cross-stack research, which includes things like changing the kernel, changing runtimes, changing hardware, all at the same time. And to do that, gem5 can run full machine learning stacks, which I think we'll hear a little bit about today. Or maybe in the future, we could run full AR/VR stacks or whatever other emerging application is coming that someone might be interested to do research on. And so gem5 can do a lot of this today. We're really close to this vision here, but there are a lot of rough edges. I mean, it is a research software. And so you in this room can help realize this vision of gem5 being used for all sorts of kinds of cross-stack research. So gem5 has a lot of unique capabilities. As many of you know, we have hundreds of models in gem5. I did a quick search, and I think we have 628 unique models. And these are from ISAs to GPUs to NICs, caches, cores, memory, and everything in between. And these models are all parameterized, so we can do design space exploration. Again, just searching through, I think we have about 8,000 parameters on these models. gem5 can boot unmodified Linux for ARM, x86, and RISC-V, which means we really can see this vision of doing the cross-stack research. And it's modular and extensible. So what this means is that you get to focus on the piece of your research that you're interested in, and you don't have to worry about everything else in the system, because everything else, in theory, just works. And the other thing that makes gem5 really special is you all, is the gem5 community. We have hundreds of contributors over the past 25 years, many hundreds of contributors over the past 25 years. And if we're looking over the past 25 years, I would say probably tens of thousands of users. But actively today, I think we probably have thousands of users. gem5 aims to meet the needs of academic research, which I think are most of us, and then industry research as well, which is many of us, and classroom use. We have a code of conduct, and one of the main reasons why we run these workshops and we like to get together is that we want to see the community grow. What makes gem5 really special is its community, and that's what we're focused on here today. Okay, so switching gears, now what have we been up to over the past few years? I'm going to kind of blast through this as quickly as I can, but I want to make some highlights. So what are the highlights? And I don't know if I recognize, has anybody here been, well, I know my student has been to the gem5 boot camp. Anybody else been to one of our gem5 boot camps? Okay, yeah, so we've been hosting gem5 boot camps. So these are week-long experiences. We've had, in the past 2 years, we've done 2 different ones. Last summer, we did one at UC Davis, which is this picture in the bottom right. And then we also, in November, did one in Argentina with Esteban Maxos and Tamara Lehman, who helped coordinate that. So the Gem 5 Bootcamp, now we have about 30 hours of material, which I teach at a quarter school, and a quarter is 10 weeks with 3 hours of classes each week. So that's 30 hours. So this is an entire quarter class, all about Gem 5. If you're interested, you can go to Gem5 or bootcamp.gem5.org, where everything is open source. All the material is available. You can take it back and teach it. We have most of the 30 hours are online on YouTube as well. And I want a big shout out to the bottom left, which are the students from 2024 who helped coordinate, run, update all of the material last summer. Leo is one of the students here. So thank you, Leo, who did a lot of work. So yeah, if you go to this website, it looks like something like this. And this has all the slides, and there's also pointers to how to get all of the material for all of the examples, as well as set up an entire ecosystem to run this stuff. So we've done a lot of improvements to the Gem 5 standard library. We've stabilized APIs, and we now have these things called demo boards. So now in just 4 lines of code here, you can boot x86 Linux full system. And ARM and RISC-V are similar. In Gem 5 25.0, this is a brand new feature. We now feature something called hypercalls. So if you want to specialize what happens on different events, so for instance, we have an event called after boot. If you want to specialize this, you only need to add a few lines of code to your configuration script to specialize this. And in all of our full system disk images, we have these standardized hypercalls, which allow the simulated system to call out into the simulator, and you can take actions. We also have new support for multisim. So this allows you to run a new API for running multiple simulations in parallel. So again, you can do something like what I've shown here, where you say for every benchmark in some benchmark suite, build a simulator and add the simulator to the multisim, and then later you can go on the command line and run all these in parallel. So we've also greatly expanded the Gem 5 resources. So Gem 5 resources, if you don't know, are a set of binaries, disk images, kernels, everything you need to run your simulations that are not the simulator. We have now released for x86 ARM and RISC-V tested and validated disks that have Ubuntu 24.04, and then the GATT benchmark suite and the NAS parallel benchmark suite. And we're looking to release more as well. And we should have a archive paper on this coming out soon. There's also a web-based interface for Gem 5 resources. So if you go to resources.gem5.org, you can search and find resources and also how to use them with the simulator. In the past couple of years, there's also been a lot of work on adding vector extensions to the RISC-V ISA. So we now support, I think we almost fully support RVD 1.0 in Gem 5, but we certainly support enough of it that you can just compile your program with GCC or LLVM and it works. There have been tons of improvements to the ARM ISA, support for cache partitioning, integration with the Capstone disassembler. The TLB model was rewritten, and lots of new extensions for ARM, and more are coming as well. There's been a lot of work on the GPU model in Gem 5, which you'll hear more about this throughout the workshop. And what I want to highlight here is that we now have full system support for GPUs. So this means you boot Linux and actually interact with the actual AMD GPU driver. And the really cool thing is this allows you to simply have a PyTorch app that you send that you give to Gem 5, and Gem 5 will just run that PyTorch app on the GPU. So we can run MNIST, NanoGPT, and probably other things, but these are what's been tested. This makes it really easy to run these big applications, but of course it's very slow to simulate. And so we're also working on making this easier to simulate faster. There have been lots of other GPU improvements as well. I'll just kind of flash this up here. I'll post these slides afterwards on the website as well. And there have been lots of other big changes as well that I didn't highlight previously. RISC-V hypervisor support, which we'll hear more about during the workshop. Improvements to the front end of branch predictors. Many improvements in Ruby, Python stats, support for SymPoint and LoopPoint. Our integrations have been updated, and other things like better testing by migrating to GitHub Actions. Okay, so looking forward, we're going to hear a lot of things today about what's coming in gem5. So I'm not going to spend any time on that because we're going to hear more later. And then there's lots of other improvements coming to ARM, including support for bfloat16, SVE2, parallel page table walks, and the new interrupt controller. One of the other things that's coming that I'm really excited about is better support for communicating with the gem5 simulator while it's running. So here's a little demo of a dashboard that we put together. So in this case, Aaron launched 3 gem5 simulations using multisim. And then once those simulations start running, we can actually ping them and ask them, how far through this simulation are you? And so we have this example here where you can see the total number of instructions that will be executed, how many instructions have been executed so far, an estimated time that this is going to take to complete, the current instruction rate, and the current time in the simulator. So this has been running for 100 simulated milliseconds, almost 200 simulated milliseconds, and we expect it's going to take another 5 hours to complete these simulations. So I'm really excited about this. This will be pushed very soon. Okay, I know I'm going through this really quickly, but a couple announcements before I turn it over to our talks today. So first of all, join our dev meetings. We now have open dev meetings. Everyone is invited. If you would like to join, follow the GitHub organization for notifications. We have been doing this on like the second Thursday of each month, but I think we'll be updating when we're doing it. So please follow. We're going to try to make it so that every other month it's at a time that is reasonable for Europe and then reasonable for Asia, and go back and forth. And no matter what, it's going to be a little bit unreasonable for people in the US. So it'll be either really early or second, please nominate yourself or someone else to be a maintainer. We're looking for more maintainers. So if you have a record of contributing to gem5, please let me know, and let me know that you would like to be a maintainer, and we will get the ball rolling on that. We definitely need more maintainers. And lastly, I'm really excited to announce this, although the details are going to be a little thin right now. I'm really excited to announce the gem5 fellowship. So the idea here is to encourage people to take the research work that they've done and upstream it into gem5. And in order to incentivize that, we have 3 fellowships available over the next couple of years. These fellowships will pay for a grad student for about a quarter or a semester. And applications for this will open in the next few months as we work out the details on how we're going to do this. But we have the money. We just need to figure out how we're going to send it out and how we're going to choose. So I'm really excited for this. Okay, I know that was really fast, but I want to spend time hearing from the community instead of you all hearing from me. So over the past 25 years, it's been really exciting. We've accelerated development a lot. Gem5 is growing and getting better, and there's really no sign of it stopping. So with that, I'll put up this community discussion link again if anybody wants to see it. And I don't really have time for questions. So if you have questions, let's discuss it at lunch.